Hard to believe, but yes, the IRS is in more trouble. This time for failing to notify 100,000 taxpayers that they were affected by a massive data breach. To Tea Party Patriots co-founder Mark Meckler on how big of a concern this is. Mark, 100,000 taxpayers. Tell us the details.
Well, the details are this. There was a massive security breach at the IRS that allowed hackers to access personal tax information, tax filing data of over 350,000 taxpayers, roughly 100,000 of them never even notified of the breach. This all comes out because of an Inspector General's report. And here's the key thing, Charles. These guys, I don't know what century they're operating in, but they're not using what's called multi-factor authentication security. Every financial institution in the country uses this. The IRS wasn't using it. That's why the hack happened.
You know, is this all a part of that sort of the culture there, the culture, let's call it a culture of arrogance, if you will, you know, the need not to upgrade the computer systems, the attacks on Tea Party groups, all of the things, we keep seeing a series of things, and then, of course, when they're called on this stuff and have to face Congress, the disdain that they wear on their shoulders, you know, it's one thing after another, and it just feels like the IRS is above all of us and not accountable to any of us.
I certainly think that's true. And look, the question that I think we all have to ask is, why hasn't Commissioner Koskinen been impeached? The Republicans can do it. They should do it. This is just another reason. He's been responsible for the cover-up in the Tea Party targeting case personally. He's been shown to have lied to Congress. He doesn't show up at Congress when he's asked to show up at Congress. This guy has to go because they have a culture from the top down, like you said, of total disdain for the American public and then covering up when they do bad things that are found out.
Why do you think he hasn't been impeached?
You know, my personal opinion is that Congress lacks the political will. And this is true across the board, Charles. Anything that might be the slightest bit controversial, anything that involves Congress really getting into action, they simply don't do. Look at all the things they could have defunded that they don't defund. Look at all the times Republicans should have stood and they don't stand. We have a weak and feckless Congress that is not there representing the American people.
I got to tell you, I hope it changes, because you think about how afraid we all are of the IRS, and to think that perhaps a president and or his administration weaponized it to beat down his opponents, that's some scary stuff. And then these mistakes one after another. Mark, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Charles.